Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear respected brothers and sisters, hope everyone is doing okay. Welcome to our Thursday night from Chino Valley Islamic Center. We are definitely approaching a big opening, inshallah. Our masjid will be opening very soon and receiving our community members back very soon. That's definitely one of the things that we'll be talking about tonight. Also, we're not gonna ignore what's happening around us and what is going on around us in our country here. Inshallah, we can make sure that we get our Islamic perspective on both topics. The topic of coming back to the masjid and using it with precautions and taking all the measures that we can to make sure that everyone is safe and we're not exposing anyone to any risk. And also our Islamic perspectives on the things that are happening around us, the riots and the rallies and all the things that are we are seeing on the news. So yesterday, the chairman of the Board of Trustees, Mr. Ashfaq Qazi, did share with you the great news that the first Jama'ah prayer will take place this coming Sunday at CVIC on premises. This is definitely something that we've all been waiting for. And mashallah, our board of directors and board of trustees and the committee that was formed to create the plan to reopen CVIC, including Mr. Ashfaq Qazi, Mr. Fahad Jamil, and Mr. Zia Ahmed, all of them are mashallah extremely experienced with managerial skills. They have engineering skills, business management skills. They put it all together to create a plan that we will all, inshallah, find it easy to follow and smooth to adapt to, and it will keep everyone safe. So with that said, let us review quickly what are the things that are required from us when we come to CVIC starting this Sunday. You have to wear a mask. The mask is not only protecting you, but also protects others. So if you don't really have the fear or you're not scared about yourself, at least you have the responsibility to take care of others. That is part of our faith. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and see how we're gonna use our hadith reservoir and our Islamic teachings into applying these things. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when you come to the masjid, do not bring things with you that harms others. Even the smell of the food that has garlic and onions. Can you believe that? Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, when you come to the masjid, do not eat onions and garlic because that will bring smell to the people. Now, it's not only garlic, anything that causes harm to the people. Could be smoking a cigarette right outside the masjid. Could be working out at the gym and sweating so much and coming to the masjid without taking a shower or without putting any kind of deodorant or cologne. It could be a piece of hijab or a piece of cloth that you did not wash for a long time that could smell. These things, Prophet Muhammad said, do not bring it with you to the masjid because people and angels both will be harmed by the harm that you bring to the masjid. So this is something that we all want to keep in mind. You have to come with a mask to the masjid. You cannot come without a mask. Every time I come, I bring with me my red mask, I would call it. But this mask is meant to protect the people from any possible virus that can come out from your body. If it's there, you don't know about it. And also, it protects you from putting your hands on your mouth. And if you touch something that has contaminated part of the virus, it's contaminated with the virus, you don't bring it to yourself. So that's the first step. You have to put a mask. Unfortunately, the masjid will not allow anyone to walk in without a mask. That's not only the rule of the masjid, but also we're following the guidelines of the county, the city, and the health departments. If you want to come to the CVIC, you have to bring a mask with you. Keep a couple of them in your car. Just in case you forget one, at least you can put one on your, you can have some spare one in your car. Do not get upset with the volunteers that will control this, but make sure that you follow the guidelines. That's number one. you have to come to Civic making wudu already at home, because the bathrooms won't be available for us to make wudu here. They won't be available for us to use them. You're only coming for Isha prayer or Maghrib prayer, whatever it is the salah that you're coming to when we are open for all the salahs. Make wudu at home, make wudu at place of work, make wudu wherever you're coming from, and then come to Civic. This is something that will be strictly enforced here at Masjid, because most of the people who are very close to each other, facing each other, they could be at the bathroom or at the wudu area, and this will be a highly contaminating environment. The bathrooms only will be used at cases of emergency, extreme emergencies. You have to bring your own prayer rug. Why is that? Because you don't want to put your head on the place, on the floor that's been touched by somebody else. Now, just so you know, we won't be praying in the musalla. We will be praying in the basketball court. We will be praying in the basket. There will be spots on the floor, stickers on the floor that says where you can put your prayer rug. Those stickers are put in a way that keeps distance, the 6 feet distance between everyone, skipping the row. So we will all come in with our masks on, making wudu at home already, with our prayer rug, which finally we're going to use. You know those old prayer rugs that you've been getting every time someone goes to Hajj, they come back to you and bring you a prayer rug as a gift and you never use it? Now is your chance. You can use all these nice prayer rugs that you have at home, and you can bring it with you, inshallah, and go to the basketball court where you're going to place it and sit down and pray there. We will enter from one spot and we will exit from the other spot. In other words, no people are going to be going in and out from the same door. There's one entrance and one exit. Both of them going to be accessed from the back parking lot. Now, these are all for Isha prayer on Sunday. When we get to Jum'ah prayer, which a few weeks from now, we will have a different arrangement based on how things are going. But right now, when you are coming for Jama'ah prayer, regular prayers, you're going to enter from one side, you're going to park in the back parking lot. So you're going to go around the masjid, do not park in the front, go and park in the back. Park your car, enter where there is volunteers will be telling you where to enter from. And then go in, put your rug on, pray. When you are done, you're going to exit from a different door, and the volunteers will tell you. You'll see signs and arrows that will tell you the exit, where is the exit. So make sure that you follow these instructions. When you come to the masjid, we don't want to have any physical contact with others. As much as we miss each other, as much as we want to shake each other's hands, as much as we want to embrace each other's, we won't be able to do that at this time. For the sake of everyone's safety, we're going to do the salam with the hand on the heart. Those who watch Ortugal, they know what I'm talking about. So make sure that you do that. After the salah is over, everyone is encouraged to leave. There won't be no gatherings for longer times. There will be no family nights, no youth programs, none of these activities, unfortunately, at this stage. We are still in phase 1. If you have any symptoms that related or not related to coronavirus, but similar to it, could be coughing, temperature, sneezing a lot, cold symptoms, running nose, you are not supposed to come. Because if, God forbid, you come to the masjid and you give coronavirus to somebody in the masjid, Islamically, you just committed a sin if you know that. If you know that you had the disease. If you know that you're coughing and you're sneezing, you know if you have a temperature and you still insist on coming to the masjid, and you are committing a sin. If you give it to somebody else, that is a battery, like a harmful thing. You're actually harming somebody with your disease. So make sure that you are not coming to the masjid if you have any signs or symptoms. When you come in, there will be a registration table outside. They will check your temperature. They will make sure you have your mask on. They will make sure that you have your prayer rug on with you, and then they will guide you where to enter the masjid from. If these team of volunteers tell you, sorry, you cannot come in because your temperature is so high, or because you don't have a mask, we ask you all to follow those guidelines and to follow those instructions. That is something extremely important that all of us follow. The volunteers are there for the safety of everyone, not to make your life difficult, not because they pick on anybody. The volunteers are just to make everyone's life safe and lower the possibility of anyone getting infected with the disease. There will be a registration that's expected, that each one of us who wants to come to the masjid to register online. So at least they have the name who comes in and who comes out. We want to make sure that if at some point, God forbid, one of us is diagnosed with COVID-19 or with coronavirus, is positive for the virus, we want to know who was at the masjid at the same time when they had it. We want to know who were the ones who were praying next to them, so we can contact each one of the people who were there at the same time, telling them to go test or go check, make sure that they are clean. So this is why we are asking for registration. Also, it will help us. It will be a practice for us when we get to Jum'ah prayer, because when we do Jum'ah prayer, all of us have to register, and at a certain amount of people, we will close the masjid. We're not going to allow more people to come in until the next Jum'ah prayer, which is going to be after an hour or half an hour. So this is something that we all are expected to do. You will receive an email, you'll receive a text message to register. Make sure that you register your name and the information that the registration page asks you to do. So when you come in, all your information are there. We know you're coming to pray. And I think the first time only, they're working on it, so that only the first time you have to enter your name. After that, just a click that you're coming for Isha prayer on that day. So Sunday we'll be praying Isha, and the next several days we'll be praying Isha only at the masjid. Isha only at the masjid will be prayed starting Sunday. Once we see that things are moving in the right direction, we will tell everyone, now we're opening for either Fajr or Maghrib. And little by little, until we get all the 5 prayers, Jama'ah in the masjid, and then only after we make sure that everyone's following the instructions and everyone is aware of it, then we can, inshallah, open it for Jum'ah prayer. This was the recommendation of the committee who spent a lot of time calling, talking to other organizations, talking to authorities, and planning a very well structured and very well thought of plan for the safety of everyone. So if you do have any question, please feel free to contact the masjid, call any of the board members, call Brother Arif Haidar, call Brother Ashfaq Qazi, Brother Fahad Jamil, Brother Zia Ahmed, any of the sisters, Sister Roxana and Sister Shabana, both of them are there to answer any of your questions. Please feel free to call them anytime if you have any questions. So this was about the opening. I will be here inshallah Sunday evening. Try to arrive a little bit earlier than the salah time. You know, we usually like to catch the salah at the last minute, either right before the iqamah, or sometimes we barely make it before the salam. I would advise each one of us to come few minutes, at least 5 minutes before the iqamah time, so at least we are not rushing into doing things and we're not having congestion at the doors. If you have any immunity problems, if you are an elderly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you the permission to pray at home. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you the same reward if you pray at home, if you had in the sincere intentions to come and pray in the masjid. So please keep that in mind. The virtual program will not stop. We will continue the virtual program so you don't feel disconnected that you're not coming. This virtual program will continue even when we are praying Jama'ah at the masjid. So please keep that in mind. So that was the discussion about opening the masjid. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the ability to protect our community and to make sure that we do things in the best way and the best manner. Remember that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "Al-mu'minu kayyisun fatin." The believer is bright and smart and sharp, should always look for the proper things to do, not naive and not pushed or driven by emotions to do the wrong things. That's not what we should be doing. We should all look for what would be the best way and the best manner to operate our masjid, protect our community, and make sure that we are on the right path. With that said, we go to the second point of discussion today. Last week on Friday, we talked about how Islam fought racism and how the first story of arrogance was the story of Iblis when he rejected to bow to Adam alayhi salam, and his excuse was that I am better than him, that my nature is better. That's complete arrogance, complete prejudice, racism embodied in Iblis. He did not say I'm better than Adam because of the way I act or the way I behave. He said I'm better than him because of the way I created. I was created from fire and he's created from mud. And that was one of the first sins that ever was committed after the creation of Prophet Adam alayhi salam by Iblis. And we said those who think they are better than others just simply because of the color of their skins, because of their ethnicity, because of their origin, because of their nationality, because of their citizenship, they are acting exactly the same way like Iblis. So we cannot have that. And we talked about the importance of us understanding how Islam fought racism. And the Prophet ﷺ said all the kinds of hadith that promotes equality between people, and he strongly fought racism and prejudice among his companions, and he taught them that this is unacceptable. And he was surprised when he heard them talking about their origins when they were arguing, and about their ethnicities and about their heritage. And he said, وَأَنَا بَيْنَ ظَهْرَانِيكُمْ, and you still do that when I'm still among you? When I'm still alive between you, you still do that? He was not expecting to see that when he was alive between them, with the fresh information and teachings from him coming to them. And he said, دعوها إنها نتنة, leave it, it is rotten. Inshallah, tomorrow at Jum'ah prayer, we will continue our talk about the great companion Bilal ibn Rabah, and how Prophet Muhammad ﷺ made a great example of equality by promoting Bilal ibn Rabah, and how Bilal ibn Rabah felt that he was not any less than any of the other companions simply because he was African and the other companions were not. So this is something that we'll be talking about tomorrow at Jum'ah prayer at 1 o'clock. And inshallah, in the evening or in the evening, we'll have the family night. Myself and Sheikh Talib, we will do the Kahoot trivia competition for the families. And it will be also about something related to what we see around us. So we all understand, and our kids understand, that Islam is always against racism, is always against prejudice towards others because simply they look different or they have a different color or a different ethnicity. And goes always, by the way. One of the beautiful things about Malcolm X, he said, when he went to Hajj, he was so racist against Caucasian people. He thought that they are the source of all evil. And then he was surprised that he was in front of the Kaaba praying, and next to him was a European Muslim. He came back with a different mentality. He said, I realized that there is no clash between races. It's always possible that people from different races and ethnicities can be loving each other, could be on the same path, on the same page, loving and respecting each other. So racism could be from anywhere to anywhere. What we see nowadays in America is a huge it's a revolution, it's a reaction for a long term of systematic racism against the African American community. So let us make sure that everything we're talking about is about the struggle and the pain of our brothers and sisters in the African American community. Do not go out and say, and I ask you and I beg you, do not go out and say, well, this is what's happening to the Palestinians. This is what's happening to our brothers and sisters in Kashmir. This is not about Palestine right now. I'm Palestinian and I want the cause of Palestine to be talked about everywhere. But this is not the time for it. This is not the occasion for it. Right now we're in America. We have an opportunity to fix once and for all the race problem that we have in America. So let us make sure that we focus our discussion about the problems that cause this kind of mistreatment and discrimination. Police officers just stopping people because they're black. Police officers suspecting any black person to be a criminal. Neighbors harassing someone who was jogging their neighborhood, and they kill him thinking that he's a robber. We need to change that. We need to change the mindset that in people's mind about how people look at African American community. Do you know there are more African American doctors than basketball players in America? Do you know that? A lot of people assume that most of African American into drugs. No, there are a lot of professionals. There are a lot of educated, more than the people who are committing crimes. Now, the fact that many of them come from poor neighborhoods, from a systematic way of keeping them where they are. I mean, the way you look how school system work, how neighborhoods, how house prices, when they're expensive, the school is better. And who can afford those expensive houses? No, mostly other than the African American community. So you find that this system that causes them to get into this trouble, this vicious cycle from school to prison and from prison to back to work and back to prison, this cycle been built on the wrong foundation. So what we need to do, we need to speak out against it. We need to talk about it, and we need to learn, as we said in last Jum'ah Friday, we need to learn about what is happening and why is it happening. Do not go out and say, oh, look at the looting, look at the robbery and the damage that people are causing to the stores. This is a symptom of a disease, not the disease itself. This is a cause of a deeper problem. So we want to make sure that we understand that we are talking about the problem. So in order for us to do that, we at CVIC, we will be talking about several things that we can do to help fix this problem in America. That's why tomorrow, inshallah, we'll be talking about the story of Bilal ibn Rabah. And inshallah, every Thursday and every Friday, Jum'ah, we will talk about something that's related to this crisis that we're going through. But also, if you look at our umbrella organization, the Shura Council of Southern California and the Shura TV, they're also doing things that could also be beneficial to us. For example, tomorrow at 12:30 afternoon, 12:30 p.m., there will be a program on the Shura TV about talking about this problem, and they're inviting amazing speaker, Imam Jihad Safir, Imam Abu Ishaq, and Sister Lubna Al-Mullah. All three of them will be tomorrow, inshallah, at 12:30 in a community-wide message titled A Defining Moment Requiring Action. This will be, inshallah, Friday, June 5th at 12:30 p.m. We will try to connect and live stream that on CVIC's live stream program and then connect it directly into our Jum'ah program. So at least you don't miss and you don't feel that you have to go to different places. If not, we'll have the link and the announcement on the screen. So if you see it, you can inshallah go and watch it. Also, Shura Council Southern California with Yaqeen Institute is doing a series of talks about how to make masajid more inclusive. As we are reopening our masajid, we need all of us to understand how to make our masjid more inclusive, more welcoming to those who want to come to the masjid. So on June 9th, it's a series of talks, June 9th, June 15th, June 22nd, and June 29th. How to make the masjid more welcoming to young adults with Dr. Ihsan Bagbi and Sister Samira Ahmed and Sister Petra As-Sufi. On June 15th, it will be creating a more welcoming mosque for women with Hind Mekki, Johi Tahir, and Ingrid Madsen and Dalia Mujahid. On June 22nd, getting race right. How can predominantly South Asian and Arab American mosques create inclusive environments for African American Muslims? That's with Imam Dawood Walid, Dr. Jamila Karim, and Sister Dalia Mujahid. And finally, on June 29th, this is going to be all in the month of June, every week. On June 29th, our week in Islamic schools preparing children for life ahead with Sima Imam, Tasneem Al-Keik, Hadib Qadri, and Mira Naggaz. So these sessions will be helping us to understand how to make our masajid more inclusive and more welcoming, and how to, when we reopen them on a better foundation. We don't want to go back to any bad things that used to happen before COVID. COVID-19 and the shutdown and the quarantine that we spent in the past 3 months had helped us to reconsider things and look at things in a different way. We found out that we can live stream shows and programs, and thousands of people will be watching them. We did not expect to reach you all While we're sitting down here in the masjid giving talks and only giving it to the people who are attending, we realize that we can keep the live streaming even after the masjid is open, and keep reaching out to all those who are not coming to the masjid on a regular basis. So sit and be assured that the live streaming will continue, inshallah, after the masjid is completely open and after the masjid is completely functioning. So keep that in mind. We want to learn how to make the masjid more welcoming to those who never felt welcome to the masjid. That is something that we also want to work on. So these things that inshallah will help us and benefit us understand the environment around us, the society around us, and make us appreciate what we have and move forward on a better plan and a better path than what we had before. We want to come back to the masjid, we want to come back to our community, but we want to come back with different perspectives. The good perspectives that we had from the past, we will keep them. But the bad ones, we want to get rid of them and continue on better plans, inshallah. So jazakumullah khair for listening. Inshallah, we'll see you Sunday at 9:30 p.m. for the first open Jama'ah prayer at CVIC physically. Talk to your friends, talk to your relatives, those who are in the area. Give them the good news, but follow the instructions. You will receive an email, you'll receive a text message that tells you about the instructions. No mask, no entry. No carpet, no rug, no entry. High temperature, no entry. If you have symptoms of sneezing and coughing and temperature, then we will ask you kindly not to come to the masjid so everyone will be safe. And inshallah, you will get the ajr and the reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for your intentions and your sincere desire to be here. Again, if you have any questions, please call the board of directors or the board of trustees or myself, and we'll be more than happy to answer your questions, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.